Hey, this is John Carlos, and I'm here with a look at the Hot Toys 6-scale figure of Wicket from Return of the Jedi. The packaging now has this new little sleeve that goes around the front. Well, new to me, it's my first time encountering it. I'll admit, I wasn't totally blown away by the first prototype images we saw of Wicket, but having this in person, in hand, I gotta say this figure looks great. It looks much better in person than it ever looked as a prototype. First things first, I like that there are elements to this that are dirty. You look at the brown of his hood, and then you look at how it gets much darker as you go down. Same thing with his belly. There's a lightness here, and then it gets a little darker. He's been dirtied. That's great. You can tell just from the darkening of this section here that he clearly rolls around in his belly a lot. I like that the fur on this it moves. Like, you could fluff it up if you wanted to, although I don't think that looks great. He does look better matted, and I like that you can, like, when you play with the articulation, you'll see it kind of fluff up a bit, and you just mat it back down, and I like that it responds to whatever you need it to do. I'll get to articulation in a moment, but there's some nice details here I just want to go over. I like that they painted his toenails. I like the lines going across the nails. Same thing with his fingernails here. Also, just like the inside of his hands, the little wrinkle there. The wrinkle on the bottom of his feet. Look at those adorable little fifis. But yeah, look at the little wrinkles there in his hand. It's really, really solid. The articulation on this. Let's talk articulation. Something I don't normally like to talk about, but this is a more unique figure. There is a ball joint at the ankle. There is a double knee joint. It's subtle. I had to try it out several times. I'm like, nope, there's two knee joints in there. So you get like an almost 45-degree angle there, I think. There is a swivel, a little bit of a swivel at the top of the thigh, and then the legs kick out to the side and can come forward about that far. It is like a bodysuit over like a articulated skeleton with padding, especially around the midsection. One thing I noticed when I pulled this out of the packaging, I thought it was going to be more of like a brick. Like the surface would just sort of end there and be solid with fur over it. But there's a little bit of squish. I appreciate that squishy belly. The arms have a hinge at the shoulder. There is a bicep swivel underneath that bodysuit. And a double elbow joint. So look how high up you can get his hands to go. Like up to his mouth. Up to the side of his head. So that double elbow joint's neat. And then you have the little 6-scale wrist joint. And then you get the head, which has pretty good mobility. It's not actually attached to the bodysuit. You can turn it to the side. You can have him, look down. But the head is a separate piece. So you can see in the back here that the bodysuit, if you wanted to, although I don't know why you'd want to, can unzip. But the head is like a disconnected piece, so it doesn't get pulled by any of the... If you move the head, it doesn't pull on the back or anything. So that's cool. I really like this head a lot. I think they did a great job with like the coloring. First of all, the eyes look good, but the darkened area around the eyes, the two tones of brown on the nose, I think the sculpt on the lips and teeth look good. I like the way the hair kind of fluffs out around the edges of his hood. Details on the hood are nice. Again, I like the darkening tones, but I like the stitch work going across there. His ears are good. I checked to see if they articulate, not like they really do in the movie, but still, they're just solid. They're like the hardest piece on here. They're not squishy. But here's just like the hood going around the ears. Sometimes you might have to pull the hood down a little bit just to get it to fit on his head a little snugly. You articulate too much, and the hood might lift up a bit. But that is a good looking Wicket head. Come on. Let's talk accessories. The figure starts off with a relaxed right hand and a wide grip left hand, and then we get an additional tighter grip right hand and a set of left hands. We get this left hand holding a little bit of food, a little snack in his hand there. We have this tight grip left hand. The paint on the nails on all of them is really solid. And then we get this left hand finger point, so that's pretty nifty. I dig this one quite a bit. And then we get a set of drumsticks. There's a deluxe set of this and Endor Leia that includes some like Stormtrooper helmets, some Imperial helmets for him to drum on, but we still get the drumsticks without the helmets in this set. And then we get his spear. Here's a close-up look at it. It looks like a big wooden stick, so props to Hasbro for getting that element right. Here's a wider look at the whole thing. It looks like his spear. This figure comes with a figure stand which has a graphic of the Endor Moon forest on it. You can just plug in this little arm clamp really easily. It also comes with an actual bit of sculpted, attachable forest floor. It's just, you know, a little corner in there. Let's go in for a closer look. You can just see that the sculpt and paint on this is pretty solid as far as like the greens, the browns, the grays, kind of mossiness. I like the rock paint a lot. I also like the leaves. They're really well sculpted. I actually think that is a nice little cool bonus that I'm really happy with. And lastly, we get, you know, some extra wrist pegs. I switched out both of the hands, and I'm happy to report that it was super easy. There was no resistance. The wrist pegs weren't tight and they weren't too loose. They came off easily and they went on easily. So I love that. I also love that there's a double elbow joint in here, so you can get his arm all the way up, and with just like a little turn of the head, you could totally get him like snacking on some food there. It's not that far of a reach to make that happen. Look at that. Here he is with the spear, a classic pose. I'm going to go ahead and just sort of bend his knees a bit and see if we can get a little more of a squatter pose with his legs a little further apart. His little ankles are swiveled out a bit. It's a little bit of a bend. It's minor. You don't get the biggest bend out of that, but still, I gotta say that this looks pretty good. I'm happy with this. Now, your mileage may vary on whether you think this is an accurate depiction of Wicket in 6 scale, but I think this figure looks pretty good. Hot Toys has had kind of a mixed track record when it comes to furry characters like Chewbacca, but I think the fur on this figure lays really well, and it captures the general shape of an Ewok. And they did a good job capturing the proportions too, like the length of the arms compared to the body, the width of the torso, and considering the size of the scale, I'm really impressed by how cute it is. It is cute the way an Ewok is cute. And yeah, you're talking to someone who actually likes Ewoks. I've been through 3 phases of Ewoks. When I was a kid, I thought Ewoks were fun. And then I became a teenager, and I'm like, man, Ewoks are stupid. And then I got older, and I'm like, nah, Ewoks are pretty dope. And I think this figure is pretty dope. It is just a hair over 6 inches tall as a 6 scale figure, and this 6-inch figure retails in the US at Sideshow for $197. Like I said, there was a 2-pack with Leia. Leia on her own is $228, but the 2-pack that comes with the Stormtrooper helmet and the Death Star Trooper helmet is $420 for the set. I really like this figure a lot. I think Hot Toys has done a commendable and somewhat impressive job of getting the general Wicket shape, all the details of his face, the painting of the hood, all of it. It looks better than I expected. So thanks for watching, everybody. And if you want, you can follow me on social media. I'll put up the links right now. Yup, nup.